But I do have a second thing, Patricia, I really need to know. One of the things that I've been finding, we got into it a little bit in the discussion, but one of the issues that we're having is, and it's something here, I need your help on something. I need your help because all I seem to be doing lately is fighting back against innuendo and rumor stories. And this is what I seem to be fighting about all the time. In fact, Patricia, part of it is with you.
I'm sure.
And I just need your help because when you start headlines with, there's a rumor going around and that we've heard that hurts my veterans. That scares my veterans. That scares my employees because it's not true. Will you commit to not doing that in the future?
Well, there was a DOJ representative that day.
I have a VA employee who is our DOJ liaison. You knew that and you could ask that question.
I did ask that
but
question.
when you got the answer. But my question here is, I need you to commit to not starting off. Rumors began circulating.
I mean,
well, if it's either true or false, Patricia, and then you go to Patty Murphy, saying that we've heard and we have DOJ may have barged into the VA today. Unconfirmed hearsay. You know what you'd have done if I was a member of Congress and probably done that? Unconfirmed report. But you didn't put an unconfirmed report.
Right.
So, Patricia, I want to work together with you.
Okay.
But I need you to commit to me that you're not going to do this.
I'm working on it, and I have. I've been actually, I have another question based on that. Thank you very much.
No, I want to hear the answer first. Are you committing not to do rumors? Because you're scaring my VA employees about this.
That's fair.
And you're scaring my veterans.
Yeah,
that's unforgivable. That's not something I take lightly.
But if a rumor is different than if I have a source.
Then you source it to our PR people and let them know. Because you know something, I've got people who are reporting stuff right now who aren't even calling us. They don't even get something from. They don't even call us to check it.
Well, that's not right.
Well, this isn't right either.
Okay. Well, that's fair. But I did call about that.
Good.
I did call about
and you got the answer, but yet you still reported it as a rumor.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, which is it? Which is it? Is it a rumor or is it get confirmed?
Was that there is a DOJ person there.
There is. Okay, nobody has said that from you.
You've approved these cuts, which is so antithetical to what most secretaries, you're trying to obviously maintain the VA, but you're doing it with cuts, which is interesting. Why is it that you think you can run this thing efficiently with 80,000 fewer people?
Well, the first off is this is a riff that President Trump, who was elected on generational change to Washington, this should not accept that the government this size should be the size it is, especially if it's not working efficiently. And so what we're doing is we're following that guideline. 15% is roughly about 80,000 employees. But let me just make very clear, that's our goal.
Starting to think about maybe some of those veterans who worked for the federal government and maybe what the administration can do to at least help salvage their lives.
Well, as you know, we care about veterans tremendously. I mean, that's something the president has always cared about. Anybody in blue, anybody that serves this country. But at the same time, we have taxpayer dollars. We have a fiscal responsibility to use taxpayer dollars to pay people that actually work. That doesn't mean that we forget our veterans by any means. We are going to care for them in the right way, but perhaps they're not fit to have a job at this moment or not willing to come to work. And we can't, I wouldn't take money from you and pay somebody and say, sorry, they're not going to come to work. It's just not acceptable.
The Trump administration's plan to cut 80,000 workers from Veterans Affairs is definitely going to have spiraling negative effects, including costing people's lives. And veterans aren't going down without a fight, but nonetheless, Donald Trump does not care.
You are 100% right, Nicole. And again, a lot of us are not surprised by this, right? This guy is the quintessential fortunate son from that great Creedence Clearwater song, Silver Spoon in his mouth. He doesn't respect, even just setting veterans aside from it, the man has no respect for something like grit and hard work that so many of us Americans have. Selfless sacrifice is something completely foreign to him. And so these are all things that veterans embody. And so, he has absolutely he used the word. He sees people that give for something beyond themselves as suckers. The man just has absolutely no honor whatsoever. I will tell you this, though, and it's very early. And yes, there are veterans, including myself, that are hurting. But this is the wrong fight. They picked the wrong fight. They are going to lose this one.
You're lying. I'm a veteran. You don't give a about me. You're taking Start the right.
My name's Pat Kearns. I'm a registered nurse, and I've proudly worked at the Iowa City VA Medical Center.
Hey.
I spent 30 years of my career making sure that veterans get the care that they deserve and all the care that they deserve. The Secretary of Veterans Affairs says he wants to cut 83,000 jobs nationwide, 16% of our workforce. Looking at a facility like Iowa City, that's 300 jobs out of the 2,550 employees that work there. We cannot survive that.
They're gutting and destroying. This isn't them running the government out of gas, because if that were true, we'd win an election, we'd pour gas in it, and we'd chug on down. This is them running the government out of oil, like running your car out of oil. They're breaking the systems. And what I would say to Patrick is, the VA is one of our strongest pushbacks to this, because I guarantee you find me a member of Congress who sits at a town hall and would answer that question and say, well, Patrick, those people just aren't working very hard, and besides, we don't care if veterans get care or not. They'll never say that. You can't find a politician who won't stand in front of a veteran. They won't stand behind them, though. And this is an issue of, do you stand with veterans? If you do, you should not have voted yes like your representative did to cut the VA. That's that simple.
I mean, it's barely even been 2 months, and the Trump administration has already demonstrated that they're not even going to try to coax the base. They're not even going to try to pretend like they're not just cutting people's jobs and taking away people's benefits. They're not even covering any of it up, because Donald Trump doesn't have to run for election again unless he runs for a third term, which they're just openly discussing, which is an issue in and of itself. But they don't give a damn. And at the end of the day, you got people like Chuck Schumer on the other side who are supposed to be one of the fighters, one of the opposition figures to the MAGA agenda, to Project 2025. And he just, bends over backwards like, no, I don't really want to fight anymore. I think we're just going to give it to him. Like, okay, Chuck. And so that's really not a good omen and a good sign as to what's to come with the current Democrats that are in the Senate. You got the House united 100% to stop this funding bill, and Chuck Schumer's like, no, I want to go home and take a nap. So all in all, the Trump administration and Donald Trump himself feels as if he's untouchable and he can get away with anything, because thus far, that's what the United States has shown him.